Sometimes we live in hope, and our certain hope that we can see for the world and indeed many Americans is that Donald Trump, hopefully by November, will be gone. Hopefully, there will be a nice, peaceful transition of power. But of course, in a recent Fox interview, he said some, well, very, very worrying things about not going peacefully, and Trump would absolutely, in a closely contested race, would contest it right to the very yard arm. And that would be incredibly damaging to US democracy. But we're not here to talk about US democracy, we're here to talk about Brexit. Of course, an interesting piece today from the Irish Echo. President Biden will be very wary of Brexit. Now, for those of you who may remember, we went over a post, it must have been a couple of years ago now, maybe last year, all about how in America there is a massive, massive pro Irish lobby. Many Democrats have said themselves that if they see Ireland getting the shaft because of Brexit, which ultimately it looks like definitely what's happening, and if they see especially the peace process, which does look like it will be in some sort of jeopardy in some way, then you can kiss goodbye to any trade deal because they will just go against it any way, shape, or form. And trust me, that lobby is very, very, very powerful. So, onto the article. So, Joe Biden, during his visit to Ireland in 2016, Biden visit Ireland it actually coincided with the Brexit referendum in the UK. The Brexit negotiations between the European Union and the United Kingdom have not been going too well and are stalled with less than 6 months to go before the agreed deadline. The decision thus far, according to the EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier, confirm that significant divergences remain between the United Kingdom and the European Union. Separate talks between London and Brussels are those between London and Washington, with a view to a new UK-US trade deal. A pact that the British view side view as something of a banker, and that should be a failure to reach a deal with the should a failure be to reach with the EU. And of course, this is what they're banking on. If no deal gets reached with the EU, they're hoping that we can get a deal with America, and somehow this is meant to replace our relationship with the EU. It won't. Full stop. So President Trump backs a new trade deal with the UK while being seen as a supporter of Brexit. But what if Joe Biden wins in November? Such a scenario was recently touched upon in a New York Times report on Brexit, which stated that the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson would face a new uncertain counterpart in a President Biden. The report stated that a Biden presidency would still be supportive of an alliance with Britain, but also revive the words of President Obama, who stated that Britons would be at the back of the queue with regard to a trade if they voted for Brexit. A majority of the UK did, though not in Northern Ireland or Scotland. Continued in the Times report, Mr. Biden is also a devoted Irish American who would look out for Ireland's interests as Britain negotiates its long-term trade relationship with the European Union. The preservation of the Good Friday Agreement, which ended years of sectarian strife in Northern Ireland, is an article of faith among Democrats. Mark Malcolm-Brown, a former United Nations Deputy Secretary General, told The Times the Democrats are bewildered by the logic of Brexit to begin with. There's a very strong Democratic Irish lobby, which will be really watching like a hawk that it doesn't put Ireland at a disadvantage. Nope. Nope, and that's it. So yeah, you can see clearly, and we've been through this before, this is what would happen. Biden basically said, yeah, we're going to put you at the back of the queue. Look, you're not worth a trade deal doing with. And to get what we want means this is it, and this is what a lot of Democrats can't see the point or even the value. The UK has weakened itself on purpose, and now wants to do desperately, especially the Brexiteers are desperate to do a trade deal with America because they will view it as some sort of magnificent win, and it won't be in any way, shape, or form. We've already seen just recently that the Conservatives have voted down an amendment that was specifically meant to protect the NHS from, outside UK influences, and that they wouldn't be subject to control from companies outside the UK. This will lead, and it's very, very clear, and has been from the beginning, the NHS is on the table, despite what Boris and the Johnsons continuously say. Oh, the NHS isn't on the table in the trade deal. It absolutely is. And of course, we don't know. Because right now that deal is being discussed, and we don't know because trade deals are done behind closed doors, not in the EU. In the EU, they are all done open and everyone can see. And this is what the Americans have so long tried to do. They've tried to do these trade deals in secret and tried to get stuff like the investment dispute courts open, which are secret courts designed so that companies can sue national governments for loss of profits. So as we have seen, a company has sued a national government to increase the minimum wage. The US pharmaceutical industry has sued Canada for passing regulations to make medication more affordable. These are a hallmark of US trade deals. That will be in there, that will be on us. And the NHS will be subject to God knows how much at the taxpayer's expense. And it will be because of Brexit. There's no other way to clear cut it. Brexit will negatively affect the NHS. And we've been saying this from the very start. And hopefully, I'm hoping, because recently you've seen a lot of pennies start to drop with regards to Brexit. And like I say, next year, come January the 1st, is where you can pretty much start to chart Brexit. And we are going to see the reality and the effects in everything we've warned of for these past 4 years come true. And to a point, and I always say this, we can say, well, we told you so. But what's important is that we turn these Brexiteers back into Europhiles. And I think that is the goal, to turn Brexiteers into committed Europhiles. Because questions will start to be asked. Why have we lost this? Oh, I thought we had this. Oh, what? How did we lose this? I thought this was part of us. No. Tons of stuff, laws and regulations, protections from workers' rights, you name it, to do with the EU. Holidays are going to be a big one. I guarantee you, next year, you are going to see numerous articles run about British holiday makers being disrupted by Brexit. Or saying, I didn't realise this would happen. Well, we told you it would happen. But there you go. That's the case of, when you don't listen to experts, very often the expert turns out to be right because they're an expert for a reason. And as we've said before on this, the Anglo-Irish Democratic lobby will be watching very closely to see how this deal affects Ireland. The Good Friday Agreement is considered, as was said there, sacrosanct by the Democratic Party. They consider it to be a massive achievement. If either of those two things get disrupted, there will be no UK-US trade deal with President Biden. And thus, one of the big hopefuls, the big wins that the Brexiteers were hoping, were praying for, won't come to pass. But again, as we've covered before, that trade deal is worth nothing. It does not recover anything we lose from leaving the European Union, leaving the single market or customs union. And as I've said before, all paths from the 1st of January lead us back to rejoining the European Union. 'Tis not a matter of how, 'tis a matter of when.